Let's see how we're doing here. Sorry, 30 seconds in. I'm not going to have too much time right now to play too much, but I just wanted to talk a little bit more about things I've been observing in Season 4, this frickin' game. I was trying to do something with Freyna. I don't really play her too much, but I don't have any toxic, that sounds wrong, but in the context of this game, I don't have any toxic descendants. So what the fuck? I think my internet speeds are bad right now. Yeah, I was thinking about it because of the new features we get to do the, these frickin', where is it here? The bounties, right? So at some point, when it's like Friday and Saturday or over the weekend, you have one for fire, one for toxic, one for ice, frost, whatever. You have one for non-dimensional attribute. What else am I missing? Electric. So there's, covering all the different subtypes. Is there, I have a bunch of descendants, but I haven't freaking leveled them up very well. These are the ones that I have. I only have 4 right now. This is actually the best geared one that I have, and she's not even that great compared to ones that are pretty good, but they're not perfected, even though I got something, I got a good roll on that for sure. And then I'm using Slayer for all of them. The thing though that I noticed with my playstyles using Serena, Haley, and Ines is that they're all singular focused, really. And then trying to play with Freyna, she has that one dimension ability that throws it off a little bit, but as far as I can tell, you can sort of ignore that, but you want to not pay attention to her skill critical hit rate and skill critical hit damage. She doesn't have a native buff on her character sheet, so even if you were to invest a lot of points into crits, it doesn't make sense. It makes more sense to just go all in on boosting the toxic and tech ratios. So that's what I'm working on currently with her. There's also a cap on your range, and so if I'm using a mobbing build, Contagion. Oh shit. Game login failed. That's fucking stupid. Let's see what the hell's going on here. But anyway, the point I was going to make is that for the mobbing build, you could push the range up to 300%. Now, there's a hidden modifier to it that there's already an underlying 100%. And so essentially, if you see here, this is 193. It's actually closer to 300. It would be 293 because there's a hidden 100% base modifier, as far as I know. And that's okay if you're mobbing, but if you were to do, eventually I'm going to work on having a boss build for her where I could just put amplification control that gives me closer to, 250. The cap there is a little bit different for this since you're going to be using the Venom, Venom Baptism. So that's some stuff that I learned with her, going off of my Transcendent. I already have that extra skill range. I didn't realize how useful this would be because I just was playing other characters, and then I kept this one just in case, So when I was trying to build her character, I was looking at it it's already giving me the tech modifiers, which is the most important thing for her. And it's giving me that range, which, I don't have to rely too heavily. I could just have this one instead of having this along with the amplification control. Instead of having 2, I could just have 1. Not to mention for the reactor, I was grinding this for a bit, trying to get one with a tech skill power boost ratio. And I noticed when I was just playing casually, running through the 400%, her mobbing skills don't last very long, so I do see inherent value with having skill duration up. That's why I wanted to go with that instead of a cooldown. like those, to last longer. And of course, you could do that here, which is what I'm doing also. And we'll see how the rest of that goes the more I play. But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be able to play right now. Like, I'd have to do that later because I need to go and meet up with my girlfriend soon. But since I'm here, I got a little bit of free time. Talk about Haley. Like, I could get her skill critical hit damage higher. There's a way that I can do that, but I had to compromise a little bit with her survivability. So I was running something like this with her, where I needed to not worry so much about the skill, like just being a glass cannon so much. Although here you'll see, where's the survivability? What did I do different here? Really, I'm not quite sure what the hell. Oh, I added this one here. That's what it is. Getting that extra max HP just so I could be slightly over 14,000. If you just do the basic HP buff, the perk card for that, right, it gets you a little bit under. So at the expense of some mana. I mean, you know how this works. The thing that's annoying though with this fucking preset thing, it always defaults to preset 1. Let me load that in here. Yeah, so, with her, I got a god roll there. I got the cooldown with the critical hit damage. I've been getting some more transcendent weapons. I got one that is actually 400 quality. The other ones, I was running the 400%, so the quality is like a lot lower. But at some point, I hope they include some sort of complementary game feature, like for doing these implants, because say I have, we're going to go over here so you can see what I'm talking about here, implant, because I have Thunder Cage and I could do that, but there's nowhere you can get this. You could try to look it up, but you can't get this anywhere. Similarly, when you go over to this side and you go to Prime Hands, there's some photon implant thing that, where the hell do you get it? Certainly the game is pay to win to a certain extent, but then there's some stuff that it's only like for limited time events. Let me see. Implant. Wait, what the fuck is that thing called? I already forgot what it's so like I don't even deal with this as much. So the imprint, I was close, my fucking bad. Imprint, yeah, I don't even bother with this shit. Acquisition, no information. What the fuck am I supposed to do now? Like, do I need to buy it? It's not even there. Don't even get me started on this bullshit. Like, they need to buff this so that you could produce more of these at once instead of one at a time. If you stop playing the game for a bit and then you come back and play, they gift you a bunch of these things, because that's definitely a big bottleneck. And then funny enough, it's 300 caliber for one of those crystalline catalysts. But say you do your research thing, you come here, it'd be less than 100. Like when I first started, it said 96 or something. So granted, you have the materials, and I got plenty of materials. I can make a bunch of those right now. Like, even if I wanted to level up Freyna, I can't that much. I have one more that I could level her up with, and then after that, I could level her up again, so that next time I log back in and that's done with its research, there's only so much I can do. I can accelerate the research. You can come over to the bottom, where it's like it tells you, so I was running a lot of 400s, and you can get those done in 2 to 3 minutes. It gives you that. If I wanted to play one of my, better characters, I could find a group to do this on hard, but that would take 20 minutes for 600. So if you do the math, there's a lot of people right now just blowing through those 400s. Where do I even find those again? Special operations? No. But yeah, the idea is that if it takes 2 to 3 minutes to get 150, you get 300 about 6 to 8 minutes. and then, 600 in less than 20 minutes. You could just do that more reliably, because what if you're in a group? Because I had a group for Corel ship on hard. The first time we got to the end and we couldn't get down the boss without wiping too many times. Like before, we weren't dying up until then. It just that last part ate away everything, every bit of the lives that had been saved up until then. And then, well, it's worth doing just to do it, right? Because you get the 300 currency. That's pretty useful. And I'm pretty disappointed with how that went. Let me just say real quick that, I tried doing a video on if you're doing the trials, you could do that ad nauseum, but you're only going to get like 10 of what the fuck am I looking for? Merit. Yeah, only 10 of these merit tokens. You need 100 of those. You do Corel ship on hard one time. Might be a weekly thing. You get 300. And I was like, woo, I got 300. Let me buy a bunch of these. And I did. And I went over to Descendant or whatever. I went over to this guy that we were at before. And I bought one of those materials so that I could try to re-roll one of my Transcendent weapons. And it gave me a worse roll than what I had. And I was like, for that many tokens, that is a total jip. Fuck that shit. Like, I'm not very compelled to, if it's once a week, okay. Yeah, once a week to get that many just to get a shitty reroll on your Transcendent weapon, that's some bullshit right there. I did not like that. And not to mention, that was for 600. Okay, but then you need 1200 for that. And then imagine you spend all that time to get one of those, and then you roll it on you go over to this fucking station, you do that on your Transcendent weapon, you get a worse roll than what you had before. You're better off just like farming those, maybe purchasing one and trying to collect some more. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this up shortly, but once you do Corel ship on hard, you get those 300, then you're stuck doing the trials, which, these can go half and half. Like, sometimes it goes good, and then sometimes, like, it can be a little bit tedious. That's only 10. And you got to do that 30 times. And it takes I'd say about 10, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how good your run goes. And then aside from that, you set some markers to collect Raven. You could do Laboratory, which you might have a chance of getting up to 18 of those extra tokens that people are I forget. Whereas you do this collectible coin. What the fuck is it called? Let me go back to the map and see here. Axiom Plains, and just go to it manually. I don't fucking remember which one it is. I was talking about the merit tokens, but there's some other currency I think people are trying to get as well. So you could do either or, depending on, if you're already just using a character you maxed out, then go and do the more difficult content, but it incentivizes it if you're working on some other characters to go through the Sigma slop and just get that over with so you could level up some weapons and Descendants real quick. I've tried to make it a point now to come on and apply all of the buffs, because I took a break from playing, and then I just wanted to get back into it, and I was playing for a while without even bothering with this, but with that said, I think I happened to amass quite a lot of these, for what it's worth. That definitely makes a difference. And then lastly, in season 4, once you have a few different characters that you want to mess around with, that you've I could use Serena on her, or wait, on this. I'll run through it, I'll pick that up, and then I'll go into the bounty. I was already here, but in order to get this, you got to run through the fucking onslaught. I'm not too try hard. I just to farm those, the Vulgus chip thing, I just do it on level 1. That's fine with me. I could solo that. Although maybe it'd be quicker to just start a public operation. I was doing it solo just because I wanted to see just how good you know, I was able to tune my characters here, because I'm not going to get into it now, but yeah, I got pretty much these three, my top three. I want to work on Freyna, and then for the next Descendant, I want to wait. I mean, I could use Luna, who has non-dimensional. She wasn't too bad. Not a big fan of Bunny. I mean, like, I could use her to just, like, run through stuff real quick and farm it, but I could also join a public group and literally just do like a speed run simulator. You know, it's basically you get a group and they're already clearing it and you're just trying to keep up with them. So do I really need Bunny for that? Unless I want to just solo it. But I like Ines more than Bunny. Bunny is a little bit too young for my tastes. Similar to fucking, like, I have Valby, but I'm not very motivated to play her because she looks like, I don't know, her face is too young. Maybe if I was like 22 or something, I wouldn't bothered by it, but since I'm 36, I'm more of like Haley, Ines, Serena. They look a little bit older, so to me it would feel weird to play, you know, even like Freyna, her face looks older. But anyway, what was I saying here? I'm telling you, every single time I play this game, I'm like, I have over 300 hours in the game, and I still fumble these fucking menus. I mean, Luna looks in her 20s too. Freyna, later 20s. Bunny, early 20s. Glay, 30s. Serena, early 30s. Ines, early 30s. Valby, 12. Nah, I'm just messing around here. But yeah, I gotta get going. This wasn't meant to be a super long stream. I gotta just come back and showcase more stuff later, more gameplay. But since I've already played a little bit, I did a stream last week. I wanted to make some corrections based on that, because I was just already assuming people had done Corel ship on hard, and I was complaining about the trials, running the trials with Haley. But I ran one with one of my other characters that I decided to build. I think I did it with Ines or Serena, I forget. But I was kind of shocked that I was doing actually really good with them, and I just kind of pulled something together real quick. Granted, I kept Slayer on all of them. So yeah, my girlfriend's calling now, so let me get out of here. I'm stopping the stream. See you later.